Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. I'm so glad you joined me again. We have our guest today, another actor. This is an actor from California, Jonathan Bocinsky. What a wonderful guy! I just had a great time talking to him. We have some mutual friends together. Jonathan, thank you for joining me there in the West Coast. And tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do and why do you do it?
Yes, sir. Well, thanks for having me, Andy. This is awesome. It's been fun getting to know you a little bit and off air, and excited to share a little bit now here. Yeah, my name's Jonathan Bocinsky. I'm an actor out here in Los Angeles, California. I've been out here for 6 years, about, and I grew up in northern Minnesota. So yeah, I grew up small town, Grand Rapids, way up there, and I guess I've always had, well, growing up, me being an actor now, I did not like acting at all growing up. I did not like the stage, I should say, growing up. Keep me away from being in front of people. And then I had a mentor, my youth leader in high school, and he kind of pulled some things out of me and said, hey, like, I think you should like get on this route, and you're really good at some of this acting stuff. So I pursued more of that, and I've always like, well, but if I wanted to do more of this, you have to be born in Hollywood or something to be an actor. I don't know. I was like, Hollywood was a different world, from me in northern Minnesota. So I was like, well, yeah, but if you want to actually do it, you have to be born in Hollywood or something. I went to a festival in Texas like 7 years ago now. And what happened is, I only met one person from Hollywood. Everybody else was like from all over the United States, and they were making amazing films, and I loved it. And I was like, I got to get in on this. And I met a guy from Iowa, Micah Versman, and he got me, like, gave me my first shot, and I spent a couple weeks with him on set. We shot a film, and like, I just came alive ever since. And I was like, I got to continue to do this. And kept pressing in, and ironically, I'm now in Hollywood because I'm a man that goes big or goes home, and I I can't. I was like, well, you know what, I could go to, there's a little hub in Minneapolis, which is like 3.5 hours from where I live, so I'm like way out there in Minnesota, and I was like, well, I could move there so I could do some auditions, or I could just go big. And me and my buddy came out to Hollywood for like 3 days. I audited some acting classes, took a walk along the Chinese theater and Dolby Theater where the Oscars are, and just, soaking it all up. And I said, you know what, I'll be back to conquer you. And I came back 6 months later. I slept out of my car for 6 months, like 5.5 months. Then I moved into a garage for like 2 years out here. Then I moved into a walk-in closet. I wasn't planned. I just went straight up. That's just how it was. And and now I'm in a bedroom 6 years later. So perseverance, I guess, that's how that works. And pressing in and keep going, because I knew I had something inside of me that, great. I felt like greatness was inside of me. I feel like greatness is inside of every single one of us. I feel like we were created in the image of God, and it's a slap in the face to the one that created us if we don't really do like a soul search and figure out, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just pick up what's in front of me while I'm sitting on the couch every day and kind of just run with that for 30, 40 years and then retire? Or am I supposed to really figure out and find what's unique to me? Why am I here? And so every day I wake up wanting to be better than who I was yesterday, not be better than the people around me, especially out here in Hollywood. You go to any table, any restaurant out here, it's everybody's an actor, everybody's an actress, songwriter, singer, wanting to be. And so you can get very caught up in the competition of life and competition with everybody else. But I've always felt like I just want to be the best version of me. I want my life to be a living testimony like a living testimony of what God can do with someone that surrenders their life to them. I'll share this real quick. I growing up, I am a Christian out here in Hollywood, which is another fun story, but it's awesome out here. and I grew up in like a small, country church, and we used to sing that chorus, "I surrender all." And the pastor used to always say, "Don't say it don't sing it in a genuine way." He was saying, don't sing the chorus if you're not going to mean it. Like, don't dig yourself in a hole. Like, if you really don't want to surrender everything you have, then don't sing it. And so I would sit there and not sing it because I was like, well, I don't want to, I got a whole life ahead of me. Like, let me do a little exploring. And then it hit me though one day, like, God's plan is so much more than what we think. Like, we think that God just wants us to go do whatever we want to do. God wants us to do the opposite. But God gives us desires. God gives us ideas and plans and stuff in life. And he really wants us to go in and chase what we were designed to do. And so I really feel like God calls us to a place where we have to surrender everything, because in order to take up everything that he wants to give us. And so that's kind of like me out here in Hollywood, me with every acting role, like my whole job is like surrendering to just kind of letting go of it. Actors that are listening, or if you know any actors, we have to, we do an audition and then we just let it go. We do an audition, we have to forget, otherwise we're going to get heartbroken.
Absolutely. Wow, what a great message. One, of course, of surrender. One of my sayings I love to say is when surrender is your reasonable service, you could expect great things from God. So the moment we surrender what we think we should do, God opens doors that we would not ever believe. While you were talking, Jonathan, one of the things that touched my heart, and I think this is where I want to say something to our listeners right now.
Yeah.
There are some of you who are wondering what you're doing and why you're doing it. You're working with children and especially youth in churches, and you're saying, are these kids even hearing what I'm saying? I mean, they're not paying attention. And I go to youth service every day, and I'm a youth pastor and a youth leader. Are these kids going to get it? And I want to tell you, I want you to be encouraged by the testimony that Jonathan has right now. It was a youth pastor, a youth leader that inspired him to follow what God has on his life. And it doesn't matter if you're a pastor or an actor or a singer or a dentist or a salesperson. If that's what God's called you to do, then you do it with the passion that God's given you. And I think that's the message I want to share with you today. Because here's something else I want you to do. I'm going to put Jonathan's his credits and his contact underneath on the Facebook right now. Check him out. Watch his movies. Watch where he's going. Follow his career. Get a hold of him, folks, and get him in a movie that you're doing. Right. This is his heart.
Right.
Get a hold of him. But more important than that, I want each and every one of you, when you see Jonathan, or you think about this interview, I want you to bow your heads and I want you to pray that God would move mighty in Jonathan's life. He is a mighty man of God. He's got great and wonderful things for him if he continues to surrender his heart. And your prayers are going to make a difference in his career. And I really believe that with all my heart.
Love it.
Jonathan, thank you so much for sharing your heart with me today. And
yes, sir.
I pray that God will richly bless you. And thank you all for joining me here for Morning Moments.